In this video, we want to go over how to load programs from your PC running DentalMill to your DentalMill CNC milling machine. To do this, we're going to need your machine's IP address. You'll have to walk over to your machine and look at the CNC controller to do this. In this case, I am connected to our CNC controller and can do it from this screen so that you can see it, but you'll have to walk over to yours and look at the physical machine. When you click the Setup button, you can see under Network Settings, the machine has an IP address. This is generated by the router at your office. So each machine will have a different IP address, but we're going to need it for connecting and file transfer. So I can see in this case it's 172.16.20.111. In order to transfer CNC programs to the CNC milling machine, I'm going to use this program called FileZilla. When I double-click FileZilla, this screen should come up. If my IP address hasn't changed, I should be able to just click this green check button and reconnect back to the machine. In the event that you aren't able to connect to the machine, if I open FileZilla again, I can always click and enter the IP address to connect to the machine. Now, your router may change the machine's IP address depending on your router's internal settings. So in this case, we're going to re-enter it, 172.16.20.111, and I can connect back to my CNC machine. All of my CNC programs are going to be in this folder called CNC Programs. This is where I want to send any of the programs that we want to run on the machine. So for example, if I want to run the last program we generated on our DentalMill CAM milling program, I'll come over here, I'll highlight 49-4 and just drag it over to the CNC milling machine. You can see that it's moving it over the network and loading it onto our milling machine, and here it is, 49-4. So now we're able to run it if we go to the milling machine. So in this case, if I walked over to my milling machine, which we'll again do over the PC, I go back to my main page, and if I were to hit load program, I can scroll through my list of programs to see if 49-4 is there. I can hit select. If I want to start at the beginning of the program, yes. And once I hit cycle start, the machine will start moving. Now obviously I need to load in my stock to be ready to do this, but at least then we can show you here on the PC the steps of what to do. Now you can see here that I'm running the CNC machine from these windows on my PC. So next we'll go over how to use VNC Viewer to log into your machine. So I'm going to disconnect from the machine right now. Now we're going to need that same IP address that we had earlier, 172.16.20.111, to log into the CNC controller. So if I go to my VNC Viewer, double click it, you can see a list of different hosts that I've already connected to are in this list. In this case, we're going to type in by hand like we're doing it for the first time. There we're going to do 172.16.20.111. That is the IP address that we got from the CNC controller. Next comes the password screen. If I want the user to be able to control the machine, I put down C for control. If I want the user to only be able to view what is happening on the CNC controller, I put V for view. So in this case, we're going to hit C for control, and then hit OK. Now you see that our main CNC screen is up, and I can toggle back and forth between the menus. One of the problems I have is that right now I don't have all the hard keys that I would use to load programs and do other functions with the CNC, because I'm not in front of the CNC controller. If I again go to VNC Viewer and double click, and I take our existing IP address and add :1 to it, then hit OK, and again hit C for the password for control. Now you can see that I've got all the buttons that, well, not all the buttons, but most of the buttons that are on the CNC machine. So that if I wanted to load a new program, I could hit load program. This time go up and load 49-3, select, OK. And you can see that I can load a program and get it ready to run. Again, I'd have to go back to the machine, load in the material and get it ready to mill. And we don't really want you running the CNC machine from your PC, but you can see here that for service, now the technicians can get in and access your CNC machine from here. It's also nice to be able to view if the machine is finished or not, and now you don't have to get up from your desk. So this is how you can use VNC Viewer and FileZilla to transfer files back and forth to your milling machine. Again, this is all using your IP address that's here in network settings, in our case 172.16.20.111, to access the CNC controller.